Hey kids, I'm in the kitchen again today, and today I'm going to, all the wind blowing stuff off my table, I'm going to be making a Bolognese styled chili. What a better way to take and pack in vegetables than to hide them in soups, stews, and chilies. So we're going to give this a whirl, see how it turns out. Let me show you what I got out for the cook. Today we're going to start off with some garlic, some scallions. I've got 3 carrots which I have peeled. This is 3 stalks of celery, some white onions, some red onions, green peppers, and over here I have a bowl of some portobello mushrooms. Those are the small ones. I'm going to mince a lot of this up really small so that it cannot be seen into the stock. About half the onion will be minced, half, and the carrot and celery and garlic and mushrooms will all be minced into really small pieces. I have thawing some pork, ground pork, and some ground beef mince. I have out a jar of some hatch chilies and some jalapeno pepper, tomato sauce that I've freshly canned. You can also just throw in some jalapeno peppers, some fresh. I may do that as well. But let's get started off with cutting up everything that we need to get ready for our cook. I'm at the stove and I got out my largest big stew pot that I have. This is like an 8-quart. And I only did that because we have so much stuff to put into our Bolognese chili. So I got the pan hot. I'm going to add some oil and then we'll get going. Alright, here we go. Just put a generous portion in there because we're going to saute these vegetables. And the first thing I'm going to start off with is our onion minced up. Throw all that in there. A little bit more in the bowl here. And I got a nice spoon here. Let's flatten that out a little bit. As soon as we get that in there, I got the temperature also on about a 5 on my electric. I'm going to add the garlic, the celery, and about half of this carrot because I think I have too much. So I'm just going to grab out about a handful. See if that looks about even, because what I'm looking for is about even portions of the vegetables. I might add a little bit more here. So it's all going to cook up anyway, so it doesn't matter. And that'll be a nice sweet element to it. So let's let this start to saute, add a little more oil as needed, a little salt, and we're just going to let this cook down. Alright, so this stuff is sauteed and everything has started to turn translucent. And what we'll do now is I'm going to add mushrooms. Let that cook just about a couple minutes or so, and then we're going to start adding our mince. Okay, so when we get ready for my mince, everything here is getting nice and tender. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scoop all of that veg over to one side of this pot here. And on this other side, I'm going to dump in my 16 ounces of pork. There it goes. And I'm going to kind of just smash it out a little bit there to flatten it out and see if we can get a little bit of a sear on that. Turn the temp up on the electric to a 6. So we're just going to let that cook for a little bit. Okay, it's been a few minutes and our mince is starting to get a little bit brown on the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scoop that to one side over here. Put our ground beef over here on the other side. Now, as you can see, I've got some, it's 92.8. It's this particular brand. Why is it this particular brand? Because it was on sale. I get them on sale, stick them in the freezer, and pull them out when I need them. So I'm going to open this up and add it to the rest of our pot here. Alright, so I got my mince open here. Just going to grab a hold of it. And there we go. I got a hold of it. Let's stick it right over there. Oh, did you hear that? That's good. So we're just going to let that cook a little bit and then we'll start stirring it in as it's getting done. Alright, let's see how we're doing here. Here. And, oh yeah, we're doing good. So I'm going to start chopping this up some and mixing it in with our vegetables that we have down there. and let this cook for a little bit until that meat is nearly done. And then we'll start adding some more of our ingredients. But that's, oh, see there? See, that's what we're getting, that golden brown on there. If you can see that, and I'm gonna pull it up here. Is that golden brown on there? That's good. That's flavor. That's the sugars in the meat coming out and caramelizing. So I'm gonna mix this all together, let it keep cooking for a little bit until it's nearly done, and then we'll go from there. So this is just a few minutes later. I just minced up that meat into that, and if you can look, most of the vegetable material, you can barely see these little tiny pieces. So if you have one of those picky eaters in your household that don't like veggies, run them through a food processor and put them in here. They'll never know they're in there, and it'll give them all the vitamins and stuff that they're missing when they pick out the vegetables. So, all right, this is just about where I want it. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add our scallions. In they go. Our peppers. Our, what I'll call grandma chopped things, because they're just coarsely chopped onions. And then we're going to go get our beans. Okay, these are beans. I've had them soaking in some hot water from the moment I started. This was the first thing. These are Anastasia beans, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. They've been soaked in some hot water. You see they're starting to pop open, and that's a good thing. So I'm going to pop those guys in next here, like that. And then get our tomato sauce and green pepper, Hatch green chili sauces open. All right, so what I have here is a quart jar of home canned tomatoes with jalapenos in it. Now, if you don't have that, you can use 16 to 32 ounces of your favorite stewed tomatoes. These are very, very low salt and had the peppers canned up in them when I canned the tomatoes. I did this when I happened to be privileged enough to have a garden and living in the mountains of West Virginia, a little further over from where I am now. So I'm going to add all of this in there and half of our Hatch chili. So right in there she goes. See all those lovely peppers and stuff in there? And about a half of this jar of the Hatch chilies. That's not quite half. I'll add a little bit more. Okay. And then I'm going to fill up the quart jar here with water and add another quart of water. Okay, I just put in my quart of water. You can see the water level coming up there, and that got my beans covered. And now we're just going to add about 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. About like that. I'm going to stir it all up. Put a lid on this and let it start slow cooking for the afternoon. And come back and check it after a while. So as they say, to be continued. Okay, so I cooked the chili yesterday. And I say yesterday because we had some place to go. So I turned it off, let it cool a little bit, shoved it in the fridge for a night. I brought it back out this morning and I reheated it because I want to check the seasoning, and that's what we're going to do now. So let's take a taste and see what we need to add. So this is what it looks like after cooking. You can see it doesn't have a lot of beans in it, and that's okay. That's kind of the way my husband likes it. It doesn't like a lot of beans, but let's get a spoon out and give it a taste. All right, I got a spoon over here. That is really nice. The green Hatch chilies add a little bit of heat, as do the jalapenos, and the broth on this is so tasty. So I'm just gonna let it simmer a little bit longer, shut this puppy off, and serve it for dinner. I think you'll like it too. It's got a lot of veg in there, and I think that's really what makes it kind of sweet without adding any honey or sugar to it. A lot of chilies have sugar or some kind of added sweetener to it. Sometimes I add honey to it, but this one will look just like it is. So if you try it out, let me know what you think about it, and enjoy. Be blessed.